With hello again.
Hello.
Seems like we say this every week,
What do you want to say? Goodbye?
don't we? No, but we're always in the same place at the same time every week,
Yeah, that's
right?
good.
Right here. I guess there's
That's good.
something to be said for consistency,
Absolutely.
right?
I'm a scheduled person. This is good.
And we are thrilled that you are with us today. Uh, we I don't want to say we're going to get raw today, but the concept of that uh, we've been we
Spit it
we
out.
we watch Netflix and Prime and Paramount Plus and some of the other streaming shows, and there's a lot of really great shows out there. But in the upper left-hand corner of all of them, when it says season three, episode two, it'll say uh, violence, uh, language, foul language, smoking, and I realized that almost every series has got foul language and violence and smoking. And you say, other than the Hallmark channel that you follow, and I give Lauren,
A little bit of credit.
raspberries sometimes about watching Hallmark, but sometimes it is nice to watch a story that does not have a lot of blood and guts and gore and violence, and there isn't every other word is an f bomb, and everybody isn't smoking. One series that we have followed since the beginning was Virgin River, and Virgin River, wholesome show, great storyline, lots of character interactions and all, but I don't think I don't remember seeing anybody smoking. They
No,
drink
but they
because
were
there's
in
a
bed last week. They
well,
have gotten to be a little racier.
yes, but I mean we're not talking about
But yeah,
nudity running
right.
across the screen. It's done tastefully, but the language, it and it maybe it shouldn't bother me, but it does.
But it's not only the language in movies.
Well,
It's
it's
the
like
language
it's actually
everywhere. It's the language we were talking about award shows. Sometimes actors and actresses get up there and they will let a few things slip.
sometimes they
Um,
catch it and sometimes they don't.
yeah. Um, on my Nextdoor app, I think everybody around the country knows about Nextdoor. It's an app on your phone where if you need a plumber, electrician, or if you have a question about what's going on in the city that you're living in,
Yeah,
they'll tell you it's people in your neighborhood. And
but the other
somebody will
side of
ask a
it,
question like, why why are people letting their dogs out in the middle of the night and the dogs are barking? What can I do about that? And some people are very tasteful and they'll answer it. Well, try talking to your neighbor or check on the noise ordinance in your city. And there's other people that just
they,
get on there and rant and rave and call people, you know what, and what's the matter with you? And they go on and on and on.
but
And
that
they're verbally abusive to just
yeah,
somebody that asked a
but
question.
that's what Twitter and TikTok
Well,
and a lot of those sites are is it allows you to exercise your First Amendment right of freedom of speech. And I'm sorry, folks, but I'm a little too old to just go along with that blanket statement. Well, it's my First Amendment right to say whatever I want and however I want to say it and on whatever platform.
it is your right. But what are we teaching people and children? And why does everybody have to be so nasty? Why can't we just talk?
Well, yeah, without using the expletives. We have gotten to the point where foul language is becoming more acceptable all the time, and that's wrong. And I mean, again, I'm thinking back to a time where, boy, when we were kids, even into high school, um, you used foul language like that, you're going to pay for it,
You had your mouth
either at
washed out with
school
soap.
or at home.
Yeah.
Uh, but it got to the point where today, and
It's the norm.
I don't want to, you know, I'll just say it, that I see a lot more women that talk like truck drivers, uh, and I'm not so sure that it says good things about their position within, the social circles, to be that unfemininely vocal.
Well,
Let me put it that way.
and I think kids get it from their parents
Of course,
too.
yeah.
And, they emulate what they hear or see.
And the guys get
But
together at the bar and they talk, and every other word is a foul word, and it's
so
like you can't be manly unless you talk that way.
so are
I don't get
we
it.
talking that way because we're angry at society? Are we talking that way because we're not a happy person?
It could be all
Um,
of the above, but we certainly talk that way because we're surrounded by it on our computers. We're surrounded by it on our TVs. We're surrounded by it in the movie theaters. When if you are around it every day, you're gonna pick up that bad habit, and it
that's
is a
true.
bad habit because then you go to then you go to church on Sunday and you ask for forgiveness for being that way.
I don't remember, and it's been a little while since we've been to Europe, but I don't remember hearing it in Europe. Now, maybe we were in the wrong
Well,
circles and weren't
or
in the
maybe
right
they were saying
place,
it in their language and
and we didn't know
we
the
didn't
difference.
understand it.
Maybe,
Uh,
but I wonder if it's the same everywhere else,
you know,
or
I
is it just the United States?
I don't
I
claim
don't
to
know.
be a prude, but if you are watching that kind of language on television and on the streaming sites and in the movies, there is somebody that is writing that into the script. And to me,
Well, the only
that's where it starts. I mean, people can say things and they can get upset with each other, and call each other out, but but every other word, uh, you know,
the only way you're going to try to get ahead of it is not to go to those particular movies.
that's it. And
But
unfortunately, that's the answer that people say. Well, if you don't like that kind of a language, then you know where the off switch is. Well, we have watched some streaming shows. I'm not going to mention one that we just watched because it was a really good series, but it was military oriented, but every sentence was foul language.
or maybe their feeling was they wanted to make it very true to life. And you've been in the military.
But you know
That's it.
what? When you talk to real uh, military people,
Mhm.
they will say to you, "That's not how it is in the real military." When you talk to first responders, uh, the police and firefighters and everything, and when they are depicted in those shows with that kind of language, they say that's not really what happens in the firehouses and the police stations across the country. Yeah, it'll happen sometimes, but it is written into these scripts, and because it's thrown at us,
Mhm.
our generation, the younger generation, the children are exposed to it. That's what bothers me most is when you hear a grade schooler using
Yeah,
foul language, and the parent says, "Oh, isn't that cute? He said a bad word. Isn't that cute?"
that's
No,
the
it's not
problem.
cute.
That's the problem.
Yeah, they get away with it.
I don't know the answer to that
Oh,
unless us as older people can educate the younger ones. But then again, it's not our place.
no. The answer to it was soap in the mouth.
Well, that's what happened when we were younger.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
don't know that you'll find that now.
No, because today, that's why I say today, there are more and more words that are just accepted as the norm. I mean, just a simple word, damn. Go back 50 years and everything. Occasionally you might see it on a TV show, but most of the time it was darn or dang or something. You wouldn't use that because that was considered a bad word.
Well,
Today, it's as normal to use that word as several other words, which I'm not gonna go
yeah,
down.
unfortunately, I don't think we've progressed. I think maybe we've gone the other way at times.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
But you can only,
all
you
all
accept
you
it
can
and you
do
move
is if you
on.
watch a few episodes of a show and the language is
Turn
so
it off.
raw that it bothers you, you say, no matter how good the
Turn it
actors and actresses are and everything, I'm not going to expose myself to
off.
this.
And I mean, we're going to encounter it now with our grandson who's in high school, and I'm
Well,
sure that we're going to start to hear
and
some
he's a
things.
good he's a good kid, and it's doubtful that he hears that kind of language around home, but
No,
when he gets to school with his peers, it's macho for young guys and all to use foul language
it's not only the guys.
around
That's the
and the girls
girls
are
too.
doing it too,
Yeah.
in reference to body parts and physical actions and all. Everybody thinks it's cool to talk that way, and it isn't. It is less sacred than we always took it to be.
Well, hopefully they'll learn as they get older that that's not the way to be. You can only
Soap,
hope.
soap. Get out the bar of soap. Your grandkids, male or female, say a dirty word, stick that bar of soap in their mouth and
There you go.
let it wash around for a little bit, and then see if they'll think twice about saying that. So
Just our thoughts.
that's right. So be nice and kind to each other. You don't have to use foul language. And
Be nice.
yeah, come back to see us next week.
Have a good
Not sure
week.
what we'll talk about it, but it'll be clean stuff. Okay.
Bye.